Here are the results from last month. The last 8 fights. These are the results. Now we will determine who's going to take on Wealthy Wise. Welcome to Friday Night Fights. This is presented to you by Casino Wars. Tonight's matchup is Daniel 7 Streets versus Kirby's Dozens. So let the match begin, and the first person that will go will be the Daniel's 7 Streets will be up first. Alright, let's go ahead and start the spinning. Daniel 7 Streets is up first. Let's see what happens. Alright, Daniels is going to be putting $1 on 7 streets. Going with the one, like he'll pick the 17, the 23, the 27, the 3, the 13, the 31, and the 35. And if one is already taking, he will take the next one in line, and that is how this strategy works. And let's see what happens on this spin. He's got seven streets covered. Okay, let's go ahead and spin. All right, that's a 7 red. Okay, that is a loss. So now let's going to spin number 1 for Kirby's Dozen. Okay, with Kirby's Dozen, he's going to put $1 on 2 streets. $2 on 2 12 dozen, 2 dozens, and he's going to spin. All right, that's a 21 red. That is a loss. That's a $2 loss. So the stats are, we got 3.9 to 4.0. Kirby's Dozen is in the lead, and no one is in profit at this moment. But let's go on to spin number 2, Daniel's 7 Streets. Okay, he's got to double his bet. He's going to put 2 more on each. So he's going to double, and then he's going to just put another $1 on each one. And he's going to go ahead. He's going to spin from there. Okay, that's a 20 black. Okay, that's another loss. Wow. All right, well, so let's go to spin number 2 for Kirby's Dozen, and let's see if they can make a recovery. So what they're going to do, being that they lost, they're going to put 4 units, $4 on each of those double streets that didn't come in, and he's going to go ahead and spin. All right, that's a 1 red. Okay, that's a win. That's a $4 win. All right, let's see the stats now. Now they're $2 in profit, Kirby's Dozen, and they're down $28 for Daniel Streets, and they got a 3.8. They're failing. All right, let's go into spin number 3 for Daniel 7 Streets. All right, now they're gonna add. He's gonna add 2 more units to each of those street bets. It's a lot of numbers covered. It's surprised he didn't make a win yet, but that's okay. Well, let's see what happens. That's a 5 red. Wow, that's another loss. Wow, that's a $35 loss. Let's go into spin number 3 for Kirby's Dozens. Okay, he's gonna put now he's going back to base, but he's gonna play the dozens that have not come out. That's a 32. That's a win. That's a $1 win. Okay, so now we got a 5.3. He's in bronze. Kirby moved up to bronze, but 3.5 is still failing for Daniel 7. He's down $63 now. All right, he's gonna go. He's gonna add 2 more units to each, and he's gonna spin. That's a 15 black. He finally got a win. That's a $35 win. Let's go into spin number 4 for Kirby's dozen. All right, and that's $2 on each of the dozen that didn't come out. That's a 23 red. I believe that's a win. It is. It's a win. All right, let's look at the stats now. Now he's at 5.5 bronze, and Daniel 7 is 3.9. He's still failing. He's $28 down, and Kirby's dozen is $4 ahead. Let's go into Daniel's 7 streets for spin 5. Okay, so what he does is he's going to take $2 off each, and he's going to spin. He's not going back to base because he's still got a lot of recovering to do. That's a 26 black. That's another $25 win. All right, and spin number 5 for Kirby's dozen. He's going to be putting $2 down, one on each dozen that didn't come in, and spin. All right, that's a 00. That is a loss. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and... Oh, okay, so 4.2, he's still failing. 5.2, bronze for Kirby's dozen. Spin number 6, Daniel 7 streets. Let's go ahead and see what he does. He's going to come down, I think, another 2 on each. And he's going to go ahead and spin. He's still down $3. All right, that's a 35 black. That's another win. Okay, that's a $15 win. I think he's finally in profit. And the spin number 6 for Kirby's dozen. All right, he's going to go $4 because he just got a loss. So he's going to put $4 on each of those dozen. Okay, that's a 31 black. All right, that's a win. So it's a $4 win for Kirby's dozen. So Kirby's dozen is leading by $6 profit. But no, actually, Daniel 7 has taken the lead in profit, 12-6. However, the bronze is what determines who's going to be winning. The score, not the score determines it, not the amount won. I think I should change it though. I think the money should be more important. I think I'm going to change the battles, but not this challenge, not this tournament, because I already started with this. But next tournament we'll do by money, because money is what really talks, right? All right, and that's a 13 black. That's for Kirby's dozens, and he made a win. So yeah, so 5.5 is bronze for Kirby and 4.8 bronze. Even though Daniel 7's leads by $17 in profit to compared to his 7, he's still in the lead. Kirby's dozen is still in the lead by score. All right, this is let's go ahead and spin. Let's see what Daniel 7's does. That's a 28. Okay, that's a loss. It's a $7 loss. All right, let's go into spin number 8 for Kirby's dozens. All right, he's going to put $1 on each of the dozen that didn't come out. All right, that's a 28 black. All right, that's a win. That's a $1 win. So let's see where we're at. So Kirby's dozen is at 5.6 bronze, and Daniel 7 streets is 4.5 bronze. So Kirby's dozen is in the lead. All right, let's go into spin number 9 for Daniel 7 streets. Okay, he's gonna put $1. He's gonna put $2 more on each. All right, and he's gonna go ahead and spin. That's a 10 black. All right, that's another loss for them. All right, let's go to spin number 9 for Kirby's dozen. All right, Kirby's dozen is taking the spin. All right, that's a 33 black. All right, that is a loss for Kirby's dozen. Okay, but Kirby's dozen is still in the lead by 5.4 to 4.3. Daniel Street is down $11 and Kirby's dozens is up $6. Let's go ahead and go into spin number 10 for Daniel's 7 streets. All right, he's going to add $2 more to each, or 2 more units, whatever you want to call it, because if you were playing $10, it would be $20. But we're going with 2 more units on each. All right, and that's a 13 black. That's a win. All right, that's a $25 win. All right, let's get into spin number 10 for Kirby's dozen and see what happens here. See if Daniel's 7 streets can take the lead. He's up $6 though. Kirby's dozen is up $6, and that's a 6. That is a win. That's a $4 win. All right, so the score is 5.6 to 4.7. Kirby's dozen is in the lead, even though 14 Daniels leads by profit, 14 to 10. It doesn't matter. The score is what we go by. All right, and they're going to take off 2 units on each because they got to win for the 11th spin. All right, that's a 29 black. That's a loss. That's a $21 loss. All right, so let's go into spin number 11 for Kirby's dozen. Kirby's dozen's going to put $1 on each of the 2 12 dozens that didn't come in. That's a 0. That's not good for anyone. That's a loss for them. All right, that's a -2. All right, so now we're going to go in. So now it's 5.4 to 4.3 with $8 profit to a $7 loss with Daniel Streets. Let's go into the final spin for Daniel's 7 Streets and see if they can pull something off here. They're going to add 2 more units. Let's see if they get a win. All right, that's a 13 black. All right, that's a $25 win. All right, that's the final spin for Kirby's dozen. Let's see what happens. That's a double 0. That's not good. They lost again. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what the final is. The final result is Kirby's dozen does win 5.1 to 4.8. All right, and thank you. And let's see now. Kirby's dozen is gonna slide into that spot. They're gonna take the next round. Now the next Friday night fight is on 8/14/2026. Be prepared for that. This is gonna be Follow the Color versus the Gold Mine Heaven. All right, guys, and thank you so much for joining us here on Friday Night Fights, and presented by Casino Wars. And don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss another roulette spin. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.